Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlax here. I got another Master Duel video for you. It's been a while since I've done a build and play video, and I was about to put together a post-banlist build for Millennium Fiendsmith Orcust. I know we covered this relatively recently on the channel, a little less than a week, maybe about a week ago, but of course with the ban list coming out, I want to be testing a lot of different kinds of decks so that we can be ready for that. Orcust, in theory, does have a lot of advantages going off the ban list. Appaloosa was pretty optional in that deck anyway, and, you know, the Fiendsmith, Mitsurugi, and Millennium engines are untouched, so any way to play Orcust is, in theory, going to be a lot stronger once the ban list takes effect. But like I said, I want to go into Millennium Fiendsmith Orcust again, because I think that variant is really strong, and I actually think it's probably stronger than Mitsurugi Orcust, but I definitely want to try that sometime soon anyway. So yeah, like I said, it's been a while since we've actually built a deck together here on the channel, and I'll show you how I like to go about it. Actually, the first thing I like to do typically, before even going into my main engine is, going into my, quote-unquote side engines, right? In this case, the main focus of the deck is Orcust, but I'm also going to be playing Millennium and Fiendsmith. So I like to start with the side engines just to know exactly what I'm working with and how much space I have for the main engine as far as like what optional stuff I could include, right? So for Fiendsmith, for the main deck, it's 5 cards. We need Lurie, Lacrima, our 2 Engraver, and then a copy of First Trek. Here we go. Now for the extra deck, let's see, there's Requiem. Obviously we want both Moon and Sequence. We're probably not going to end up playing Desiree, but I'm actually going to throw it in here anyway, just in case I do end up having room for it. With the extra deck in particular, and the main deck as well sometimes, but particularly with the extra deck, I like actually having over 15, like over the max amount, and then trimming it down based on what I think I will or won't need the most. We'll throw in Caesar, because Appaloosa isn't really an option off the Fiendsmith engine anymore, and Caesar's really good against Mitsurugi too, which will also be pretty prominent, I think, in the post-banlist metagame. Let's see, is there anything else for Fiendsmith line? We don't need Necro Quip. Appaloosa's banned, or at least not yet, but this is a post-banlist list, so we won't be including her. Yeah, that should be fine. Oh, there's also a Bao Aku. I can't imagine we're going to have space for this, though, so I'm just going to leave it out for now. Alright, Millennium Engine. Let's see, we're going to need the Golem. I'll take 3 Sengengen, and then just 1 of the Wedju Temple. And the only extra deck commitment for that is going to be Snake Eyes Doom Dragon. Although, Zombie Vampire is one of the big strengths of being able to play the Millennium Engine. Rank 8s in general, so Zombie Vamp, we could also consider like number 90 or 38. I'd pretty much always play number 90 first, because Monster Negates in general I think are better than Spell Negates. But again, it's one of those situations where I don't think we're going to have enough room in the extra deck. I think we're already going to end up cutting the Desiree anyway. Yeah, we'll just leave it out for now. If we somehow have an extra slot, then I think we'll be good. Oh, you know what other staple extra deck cards we need are IP and SP. So yeah, if you're not making use of bookmark slots, which I didn't for the longest time, highly advise this. I like to throw, as you can see, staples and like otherwise generally useful engines in here. Like before Mitsurugi came out, I had the Primite engine in here for a few different decks, but replaced it with Mitsurugi cards. So yeah, definitely a good idea to always make use of your bookmarks. Okay, so that's pretty much all of the main and extra commitment for Millennium and Fiendsmith engines. So let's see, Orcust. Definitely want Galatea Eye. We'll start with 1 copy of Galatea. Some builds play 2. It's actually not uncommon to play 2 at all, but you don't really need to, and I think our extra space is going to be a little bit tighter than like a Mitsurugi Orcust build, for example. That kind of build I think I'd be more inclined to play 2. I'll put in Longirsu, but I actually suspect I'm probably going to end up taking this out. Longirsu is not bad at all. It's a good card, but it's also very optional. It's very easy to make in Longirsu without it. Ding, we'll throw into the extra deck. Yeah, it should be all the extra cards. As you can see, we're already at 15. And I feel like there's something else that I'm immediately forgetting for the extra deck, because I feel like it's a little bit weird to have these 2 extra slots here, but we'll figure that out in a second. Okay. So for the Orcust main deck cards, I want 1 Symbol Skeleton, We'll start with 3 Hardcore, although this could end up going down to 2. The Gearsus we'll take. What else do we want? Of course, the Nightmare Orcust, or Orcust Nightmare rather. World Legacy World Wand. We need a Babel. We need a Crescendo. And then also need the World Crown. Here we go. Oh, you know what? I know exactly which extra deck cards I'm forgetting. The Nightmare cards. That way we can pivot into our Orcust engine. So yeah, now we're at 17, and as mentioned before, Long Gearsu is very optional, and Desiree is as well. So I'm liking this for my 15 card extra deck. Let me look at Orcust cards one more time and just make sure there's not anything I'm forgetting for the main deck. We have the Field Spell, yes. We have the Counter Trap, yes. Not really forgetting any of the main deck monsters. Okay. Oh, you know what? I know, I knew there was a piece of engine I was forgetting, but it's actually pretty generic. It's, here we go, Foolish Burial. I really like Foolish Burial in this deck. It's not only a 1-card starter by dumping Hardcore, it's also just an extender by, you know, dumping something like Hardcore. I guess at a pinch you could really, if you really need to, you could dump something like Engraver, but it's pretty much always going to be Hardcore. Or you could find yourself dumping Symbol Skeleton sometimes too. Okay. So that is pretty much going to cover the engine base that I want for this deck. And we're already looking at 23 cards for the main deck, which is pretty spot on. So for the non-engine, I'm usually looking to play at the very minimum for any given deck that I'm trying to be competitive with at least a dozen hand traps. And I'd also like ideally at least a dozen 1-card starters. Now, from deck to deck, this will obviously vary. A deck like Tearlaments, for example, will play fewer hand traps, and some decks will just naturally have fewer starters. But as a general rule of thumb, for especially a tiered meta deck, I like having at bare minimum a dozen of each, but I'm comfortable if I have 15 of each. So let's count our 1-card starters, right? Our Fiendsmith cards are starters because they can go into Nightmare Phoenix and then Mermaid, among other things. Millennium cards, for the same reason, are also 1-card starters. And then we have our Orcust stuff too. So Lurie is full Fabled setup, so that's a starter. Obviously our Harp Horrors. Gearsu is obviously full Orcust combo. Lacrima sets up all of our Fiendsmith into Orcust stuff. Golem is the setup. Engraver, Golem is full Millennium setup as well, all 3 bodies. Engraver is obviously full Fiendsmith setup. If we open it, Sending Engines are full combo. If we open it, Foolish for dumping Harp Horror. We've got Tracked, Lurie, and actually Wedju Temple, while not getting all 3 Millennium bodies, can still put 2 bodies on board, which is enough to go Phoenix into Nightmare Mermaid. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 1-card starters. Well, not 1 card, obviously stuff like Wedju Temple / the discards for the Nightmare stuff, it's like 1.5, etc. But you know what I mean. 17 cards that start our plays off. So we're already looking more than good. And P.S., this is why I think Millennium is probably the best way to play Orcust, because it nets you a ton of extra bodies and a ton of extra starters for very little main and extra deck commitment cost. Okay, so that in mind, let's put in some non-engine. Before the hand traps, we'll throw in our hand trap counters, which is going to be 1 call by, because this is a post-ban list testing session, and then cross out. That's going to be 25 cards. It leaves us 15 slots for hand traps, which is chef's kiss. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted to see. Okay, so let's throw in those hand traps. We're obviously going to be prioritizing Maxi and Ash Blossom, because duh. But beyond that, it does start to get a little bit more meta-dependent. I'm a really big fan of Joel and Lockbird, not just in general, but also especially in this deck, because both Orcust and Fiendsmith can very easily play through it. Obviously, the card will be semi-limited following the new ban list, so we'll only put in 2 copies there. Let's see, Impulse isn't an option because we play light cards, but that's fine. We could think about Imperm still, but I think there are stronger hand traps we could be playing. Nibiru is definitely one of them. I really like having one nib, not just in this format, but even in general. Like, it's not always the best against Mitsurugi, but if you time it well enough, it is still really good against Mitsurugi. If you wait until after they use all of their tribute and then special summon effects, because then they won't come back off the nib. But also, I really feel like if you're playing Maxi, you should always be highly considering Nibiru, because if your opponent pops off into your Maxi, you need a big game, or at least turn-ending threat to ideally stop them. I'd also like to play at least one copy of Lancia as a crossout target. I don't think Lancia will be super duper common, but it does wreck Orcust pretty hard, so I want to have outs to it. As an aside, another reason why I think Millennium Fiendsmith is really good is because, you know, they can obviously play through Lancia pretty well. Granted, that's also true of the Mitsurugi engine as well. But I'm going to start with just the one Lancia, just as a crossout target. It's obviously also a good hand trap to have in general, but... Let's see. Other hand traps, we could think about Fuelos. I'll start with the playset of that, but I could see myself cutting down. Fuelos in general is obviously really good, very comparable to Max C. Bystials are pretty good in the current metagame. Against Orcust, against Malice, really Ryzeal. It's good against Mitsurugi. Ryzeal is really the only deck where Bystial cards aren't great, even then they're occasionally still useful as hand traps. Let's see. Just kind of scrolling through, making sure I'm not forgetting anything. Brilliant, Meowls. I really wouldn't ever consider these before maxing out on Fuelos, and even then it's like, I don't think we need it super badly here. Ghost Bell is always worth consideration. It's pretty good against Mitsurugi. But I'm kind of leaning towards Imperm, if only as a crossout target, just because it is such a common hand trap. Like just a single copy. Could also consider Droplet in this deck. In general, it's pretty good with Orcust. Although, to be fair, probably not a build like this, because with Orcust, if you're playing something like multiple symbol skeletons, you know, then you really want to, you really want to be able to send them from hand to graveyard pretty easily. But, you know, obviously, since we're playing Millennium and Fiendsmith stuff, we don't always have a ton of stuff we want to send from our hand to the graveyard. Well, one thing I'm kind of thinking about right now is the fact that we have 17 starters. If we wanted to play more hand traps or other off-engine, like I'm thinking about putting in a triple tack, just for having more counterplay against hand traps. And since we have 17 starters, it's not, like, completely infeasible to cut one of them. I'd probably cut a Harp Horror, because it's our weakest starter. It's one of our weakest starters. It's one of our weakest starters, and we can also afford to lose a copy of it. Our other starters, like our Millennium and Fiendsmith engines, we need to keep all copies of those. Yursu, obviously not cutting down. We could cut Foolish Burial, but I think cutting one Harp Horror would be smarter, because, like, to use Harp Horror as a starter takes your normal summon. So, for example, I'd rather open, like, Yursu plus Foolish Burial than Harp Horror plus Yursu. Although, to be fair, even if you open Harp Horror plus Girsu, you can still just link into Galatea Eye and then use that to dump the Harp Horror from your hand. So it's actually still not bad. But, let's see. If I was going to put in another hand trap, would it just be another Imperm or another Lancia? I'm not super excited about the idea of that. So if I do end up cutting a Harp Horror here, it'd probably be for triple tack. And since we only have the one call by and crossout, I don't think it's a bad idea to have that option. So we still have 16 starters, 15 hand traps, and now we have another option for counterplay. Okay, I like this. Fiendsmith, Orcust. I'm just looking over the list one last time, making sure I have everything, making sure I like the ratios. I do, yeah. I like the idea of playing the Bystial monsters here, because I'm just thinking to myself, well, if I wasn't playing those, what other hand traps would I be playing? More Imperms, which I think are generally more useful, but less impactful. Like, this is better against Ryzeal than Bystial cards, but Bystial cards are better against Orcust and Mitsurugi and debatably Malice than Imperm. Imperm and a Bystial card probably have roughly equal impact against Malice. Well, no, it depends for Imperm. It just depends on what their hand looks like. In any case, I think I'm fine trying out the Bystial cards here. Extra deck, let me look over this to make sure I have everything I need. Got IP and SP. Okay. Let's throw on some accessories and go to ranked ladder. Been loving the Orcust deck box lately, and I love the new. I love the new graveyard field as well. I don't care that it's not Halloween anymore. I'm still rocking these accessories. Every day is Halloween for me. I've been loving the Sinful Spoils base on the graveyard board for that like eerie torch glow. Good. Love the Dragon Maid coin too. Got a really cool design. All right. Let's see. Smith, Orcust, Millennium. Sure. All right. Looks good. I think we're on our rank up game, actually. Yeah, we are in our rank up game. All right, let's see if we can win it. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Ooh, we're both on our rank up game. That's always exciting. Going second, okay. This also makes me glad I put in triple tech, because triple tech's not just a good hand trap counter, it's also like kind of a board breaker too. Okay, Ash and Imperm. Oh, this is the wrong deck. I'll meet you when I have the right one. Okay, I'm back. We ranked up with the wrong deck. As you can see, I was still on Fiendsmith Mitsurugi. I think I might put that game up as like a bonus game for YouTube members. Because I don't put up members-only videos as often as I should. I do still put them up occasionally, and of course members also get to see every upload before it goes live, but... Alright. Now let's queue up with the deck we actually built together. Okay, going second again. Okay, yep, this time we got the right deck. Okay. We got Fua, Droll, Nib, Tracked, Skeleton. Not bad. Bush Burial. Okay, we gotta dump Harpor. We can chain Fua to that. Nib should hopefully be pretty effective here too with proper timing. Let's see if they have a counter to Fua. They don't. That's pretty good for us. It's gonna be Girsu, yep. Drawing our own Girsu, that's not bad. Gonna hit us with a Droll and Mockbird, eh? Okay. That's fine. They can't search off Galatea Eye, that's really good for us. And we have a Nib, that's also really good for us. Crescendo, you cannot search off of that because you Droll and Lockbirded. So is this like a more pure deck? You don't often send Crescendo, do you? Oh, they can add it from banishment to hand. They haven't used their normal summon, so yeah, they could normal summon Harpor here. Normal summon Harpor would be 4th summon. Okay, this is 4th summon, Galatea Eye. Can't search off that, though. I think they're probably realizing now just how much their own Droll is actually affecting them. It's really easy to think of a deck like Orcust as, like, immune to Droll, but it's not quite immune. It does still matter. That's why, like, in situations like this, it's actually not a bad idea to just give your opponent a couple of draws. Do I want to Nib here? They've used their normal summon. They don't have any graveyard effects. I think I just convinced myself to do it. Plus, this token will only have 1,400 defense points. They have Crossout? Nope. Okay. That could have been an early Nib. I mean, they could still be doing, like, Fiendsmith stuff here. That's what I was kind of thinking about. Like, should I have waited to see if they went into Moon of Closed Heaven? I think I should have. I'm just trying to figure out how I would have gotten punished there. That was an early Nib. I should have waited. Okay, that doesn't look like it's gonna super matter. I'm just gonna assume this face down card is Crescendo, especially because they bend another one so quickly on their turn. Okay, Crescendo's not an ideal draw here, but Our hand's looking pretty good, so let's lead with track. It doesn't give away that we're on Orcust, and could very easily bait out some disruption from the opponent without, again, committing like our deck's main strategy. Looking to use the Symbol Skeleton as a discard for Galatea Eye. Ooh, Max C. Okay. Now I have the option to fire Droll and Lockbird, which I think I'm gonna take because I am so much more well poised here to, like, let me think for a second. So I can do the rest of my Fiendsmith line. I have a Nibiru up. That alone is enough to kill them, so I should absolutely activate Droll and Lockbird here. Let's see if they crescendo it. No crescendo. That's really good for me. So they have one face down and 2 cards in hand that we have to deal with. And honestly, even if we don't OTK them, we should still be able to set up an Orcust link with our crescendo anyway. Ideally. We'll see what happens here. Ash Blossom. Okay. So I can still normal Girsu. Girsu, send Harpour. Yeah, let's do that. Is this the crescendo? I debated battling for it first for a second. It's Droplet. Okay. Sending the Galatea Eye to negate. That's fine, right? Because I can still link. Ooh, wait, is that fine? Because I can't add off Droll. Yeah, I can't even attempt to activate, right? Well, I could add. No, actually, because that's not a World Legacy card. I still have. Oh, but I don't have Requiem. You know, okay, I could go Nightmare Phoenix and then Nightmare Mermaid, discard Symbol Skeleton. I think that's actually the best play here. Yeah, there we go. Yes! Woohoo! Alright. That was a really good duel for us to have, actually, because that was a very interesting scenario. Both our opponent and I were in a position where we were forced to use Droll offensively in a way that actually hurt us as the Orcust player, but we were able to use ours to maneuver a path to victory. Ooh, that was good. That was good. I love getting, like, a very, very solid duel for the build and plays. I'll even save that, because why not? But okay, yeah, so let's go ahead and go back over the build again real quick. Yeah, I like this lineup here. I've seen other builds on 2 Harp Horror before, and I was a little anxious about cutting a starter. I always am, even when we have more than like is really necessary, but I don't know. Even though we didn't draw it, I do like having the option of the triple tack as both a hand trap counter as well as a sort of board breaker style card. It's triple tack. It's obviously an amazing card. I'm really satisfied with this build, but definitely let me know what you think in the comments below as well. Either way, thank you so very much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate having you around, especially all the way to the end of the video. You know, I say it in every outro, but I feel it bears repeating that those of you who watch till the end of the videos, it's great for not just me, but every smaller YouTube channel. Really does mean a lot. I'm super appreciative and thankful for your support. Now that I'm done yapping, though, let us actually move on to that outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which, by the way, is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.